Well, good evening, my dear students. So today we will discuss about the standards regarding the infrastructure. The last two classes have discussed about the standards which are supposed to be followed while developing the cloud applications. Means we have seen the application level standards as well as the client level standards. What type of standards generally we follow. So in the application level standards, we discuss about the HTTP, the HTTP which is been followed, the XMPP, which is used for talking means to transfer data between two applications, and also from the security level standards we generally use SSL as well as uh, we use the OpenID and PCI DSS. And in the client level standards means while developing the client applications, client programs, we use the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript uh, are involved. Now, today's class we will discuss about the infrastructure level standard. So, infrastructure is the way to deliver virtualization to your cloud computing solution. So, we are going to take the infrastructure. We are using the infrastructure where we are going to use uh, uh, where we deliver the virtualization to your cloud computing solution. We have already discussed about the virtualization where both the machines running on the remote server means both across the internet, having your machine running on a remote server and displayed at your organization, and locally having client sessions running on local server and displayed at the desktop. So we have seen that virtualization where one machine is hosting several servers and it is going to display the content on the screens. Like if you talk about the internet level virtualization, so where the remote server is actually having multiple uh, servers which are running, and the application is displayed on the screen, whereas on the locally, if you maintain a local server, the local server will run the application and your desktop is going to display the content. So we will talk about how the virtualization, a fairly new computing solution, is being standardized. Means how the virtualization is standard and how major players are working and playing together. Together means how the organizations are actually working together to build to make to bring this virtualization standards. So in this, if we speak about the virtualization, so when virtualization is actually the new concept which is introduced earlier. The, the which major players work together to develop the standards. See, generally, if some new thing comes, there will be a competition among the various organizations where they actually compete with each other so as to develop the application. So in a better way. But in the case of virtualization, major players actually work together to develop standards. So they include the VMware, AMD, BES systems, BNC software, Broadcom, Cisco, Computer Associate International, Dell, MLX, HP, IBM, Intel, Mellanox, Novell, Quick, QLogic, and Red Hat. All companies actually work together to advance open virtualization standards. So when to bring the standards in under virtualization, the all companies, the whatever I have just mentioned, all these companies have worked together uh, to have an advanced open virtualization standards. So in this VMware, generally VMware has provided its partners with access to VMware ESX server source code. So what VMware has done here is it has offered all its partners, whomever the partners which are involved under this, it offered this VMware ESX server source code and interfaces under a new program called VMware Community Source. So it offered the interfaces as well as this ESX server source code under a new program called VMware Community Source. The program is designed to help the partner influence the direction of VMware ESX server through the collaborative development model and shared governance process. So here, what generally the partners are going to do is when the source code is available, what the partners can do, they can develop, they can change and they can develop, they can apply their own um, own coding standards, own features, and they can come out with the new solutions. Means there is a broader scope that what what the other partners can do here is they can actually work on the code and they can bring out some more new solutions here. These initiatives actually are intended to benefit the end users by expanding virtualization solutions. So that's what I was talking about. The availability of open standard virtualization interfaces and the collaborative nature of VMware community source are intended to accelerate the availability of new virtualization solutions. So when your when a new when code is available to you, when the code is available to you, what you can do here is you can work on the code and you can come out with the new virtualization solutions. And also expanded interoperability and supportability. Standard interfaces for hypervisors are expected to enable the interoperability for the customers with heterogeneous virtualization environments. So we can have the standard interfaces for hypervisors. So there are several hypervisors are there, but if you have a standard interface, means whatever may be the hypervisor underneath, if you can have a standard interfaces. So they are expected to enable interoperability for the customers with heterogeneous virtualization environment. Means when there are different heterogeneous virtualization environments are there, yet they can actually interact with the hypervisors with the standard interfaces which are available, and they can because of this they have an interoperability and supportability and accelerated availability of new virtualization aware technologies. So vendors across the technology stack can optimize existing technologies and introduce new technologies for running virtualization environments. Means here when you are having uh, the scope, you can have the you can have the stack, you can have the stack technology stack that can be optimized. So you can optimize it and introduce new technology. So what is this open hypervisor standard? So first of all, let us understand what is an hypervisor. So it is a software that allows two or more machines, actually virtual machines, to directly operate on an underlying hardware. So hypervisor is a software which allows two or more machines, virtual machines, to run on an underlying hardware. So hypervisors are the foundation component for virtualization infrastructure and enable computer system partitioning. So as we have learned earlier that one physical server can be partitioned into several number of virtual servers. So making that virtual server means to make a different virtual servers. So we need an hypervisor. We need a software which allows many machines to actually under the work on the underlying hardware. So here, what they have done here is they actually have developed an open standard. They have developed an open standard. This open standard hypervisor framework can benefit the customers by enabling innovation across an ecosystem of interoperable virtualization vendors and solutions. So this open standard, when you are having an open standard hypervisor framework, so they are benefiting the customers by enabling innovation across an ecosystem of interoperable virtualization vendors and solutions. So as an initial step, VMware contributed an existing framework of interfaces called machine hypervisor interface. So at an initial stage, they actually contributed the initial framework, which is actually called as virtual machine hypervisor interfaces. So these are based on the virtualization products to facilitate the development of these standards in an industry neutral manner. Means not in a specific, means it doesn't have anything specific to a particular industry. So industry neutral, in an industry neutral manner, we can have the products based we have products that are developed to facilitate the development of the standard. So, the consistent development of this they expected the interoperability and supportability across virtualization environment. So, collaboration around open hypervisor standard is expected to focus on the areas of interoperability and performance optimization for virtualized environment. So, because of the collaboration, means the main idea behind collaboration on about this open hypervisor standards is to have an interoperability and performance optimization. So we have a cross-platform frameworks that govern the standard operation and management of standalone virtual machines, as well as highly dynamic data center scale deployment of virtual systems. So what you can have a cross-platform framework means not we need not have a same platform. We can have different platforms. Frameworks here that are standardized means that govern the standardized operations. So same type of operations is governed uh, uh, either for a standalone virtual machine as well as then dynamic data center scale deployment and cooperative virtualization APIs between the hypervisor and guest operating system. So we have a very cooperative virtualization uh, uh, between APIs. So we already learned about the API. It is a program which talks with another program, which provides an interface and protocol how actually one program is accessing another program. So we have a cooperative virtualization APIs between the hypervisor, the software, and also the guest operating system, and virtual machine formats that enable virtual machines migration and recovery across the platform. So we have the virtual machine format that allows the migration and recovery across the platform. So what about this community source? So as the community source program provides industry partners with an opportunity to access VMware ES6 server source code, so the partners can contribute, share the code, or create binary modules to spur and extend interoperability and integrated virtualization. So this one I have already discussed that when you are having the code with you, the free code which is available to you, what you can do here is you can contribute uh, shared code, and means they can change the code, they can share the code again, and they can extend the interoperable and integrated virtualization solution. So the idea here is to combine the best of both traditional commercial and open source development models. So the main idea behind this is to combine both the traditional commercial and open source development models. So the participants, the community members can participate and influence the governance of VMware ES6 servers to architectural board. So for the customers, the VMware Community Source Program is expected to yield a richer and broader set of partner solutions that are well integrated with VMware virtual infrastructure products. So for the customers, the VMware Community Source Program is expected to yield a richer and broader set of partner solutions. So for customers who are using, they provide a richer and broader set of partner solutions that will be integrated with VMware virtual infrastructure products. And for the partners here, the source access and development models allows them to efficiently deliver complementary solutions and differentiated product capabilities. So, as the partners, what they can do here is they can develop a new models here. So here, as the result of VMware and industry partners' efforts, the standard has already been developed called means as because of this collaboration of VMware and other organizations who are working on this virtualization solutions. So a standard called OVF, the Open Virtualization Format, has been developed. So this describes how the virtual appliances can be packaged into in a vendor neutral format. So how the various appliances can be packaged in a vendor neutral format means here not a specific to a vendor, they are in general the vendor neutral format to be run on any hypervisor. So that's what we have earlier discussed, that they actually targeted to develop something uh, which can be developed on any hypervisor there, any hypervisor software. So It is a platform independent, as I said, so it doesn't have any specific platform, and extensible and open specification for packaging and distributing virtual appliances composed of one or more virtual machines. So this gives the customers and developers the choice to select any hypervisor based upon the price, preferences, and functionality, and it prevents vendor lock-in. So when it is vendor neutral, what the people can do is they can choose any kind of hypervisor based on its price and preferences, as well as the functionality. So because of it, we don't lock into a particular vendor. We can choose the vendor. Whatever the vendor we like, we can choose a particular vendor and then we can start using it. Okay. So the next, as a part of the efforts to work with other vendors, VMware developed a standard with the following features. Okay, so what type of features such are offered? So optimize it for distribution. What does it states that it enables the portability and distribution of virtual appliances. So it has a portability which can be portable, which can be moved from one machine to another machine, and we have distribution of virtual appliances. So virtual appliances can be distributed, and also it supports the industry standard content verification and integrity checking, and also it provides a basic scheme for management of software licensing. So for a schema has been designed for the management of software licensing, and also a simple automated user experience enables a robust and user friendly approach to streamline the installation process. So it has a very user friendly and a strong approach to streamlining the installation process, so easy installation process, and validates the entire package, and confidentiality determines whether the each virtual machine should be installed. So whenever the virtual machine is installed, so it validates the entire package and its confidentiality determines whether each virtual machine should be installed or not, and verifies the compatibility with the local virtual software. So it will also see whether it can be compatible with the local virtual software. Next is a portable virtual machine packaging, which again enables the platform specific enhancements to be captured. So we can capture the platform specific enhancements here, and it supports a full range of virtual hard disk formats used for virtual machines today, and is extensible to deal with the future formats that are developed. So it supports a full range of virtual hard disk formats, and also captures the virtual machine properties concisely and accurately. So whatever the properties of virtual machine are there, those are been actually uh, uh, um, captured concisely and accurately. And vendor and platform independent, it doesn't rely on the use of specific host platform. So it is a platform independent and the vendor independent. So virtualization, so it doesn't rely on the specific host platform, on the virtualization platform or guest operating system. Next, it enables extensible. The designed to be extensible as the industry moves forward with virtual appliances technology. So it is designed as means to be extensible as the industry moves forward with the virtual appliances, and localizable. So supports user visible descriptions in multiple locales, and it supports localization of any interactive processing during installation of appliances. Finally, it allows the single package appliance to serve multiple market opportunities. So a single package appliance can be used to pack the multiple market opportunities. So this is all the standards which are actually generally been developed under the infrastructure. Next, we need to talk about the service level standard. So this in the service level standard, we should talk about the XML and JSON, as well as the XML. What is XML? How it is used? Then we have the web services, which are which represents the REST and this SOAP standards. So what is REST and what is SOAP? So all these things can be discussed in the coming class. Okay, so we will conclude this topic in the next class. Thank you.